signs for your ride. SignBros is the place where we make your signs.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. There you go.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. We are the SignBroCast. Good morning. We're all up in your business. We have a special guest from Rock Solid Protection, Mr. Scott Smith.
Smitty.
Strapped.
Or Smitty.
Smitty. Everybody knows me as a big bald white guy.
How tall are you, man?
6'2". 6'2", 240 pounds. People see me coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
So, I try to shine it up before I go.
The glare, there you go.
I want you on my side when we go out. Yeah.
That's what everybody tells me. I don't get why, though.
Smitty, thanks for coming out, man. We called you last second yesterday, and you're up for it, man.
That's kind of how our business works.
Yeah.
Last minute stuff all the time. So.
I bet.
Now, talk specifically about basically what you are is basically a bodyguard service, correct?
So basically, yeah. So we do what I like to call executive protection. It kind of, puts us at a level higher.
Gotcha.
When I first got into this, I was told, man, nobody in El Paso wears suit jackets. And I said, until now. Game on, I'm going to step that up to the next executive level instead of just a bodyguard, as you say, quote unquote. So we do bodyguard services. We do executive protection.
Wow.
We also do uniformed officers.
Oh, okay.
We'll put armed and unarmed, but one thing our company strives on is every one of our guards are a level 3 commission. The ability to be armed, but the level of training that we have is in a level 3 versus a level 2 is much more different. It's a lot better in training to be a level 3 because you get more school hours, more background checks.
Yeah.
Almost anybody can become a level 2 unarmed guy standing in a shirt and observing.
Gotcha.
But to become commissioned, you can't have any background in, assault, felonies, drugs,
Sure.
none of that. So all of our guys are, squared away kind of people who aren't criminals and then be in security. There was a picture I seen on Facebook. I had one guy, he was looking cholo, and then look at security, Chico's Taco security kind of stuff. So,
Gotcha. Wow. How many guys do you actually have on staff, or girls, guys and girls?
so right now we have 3 females in our company. One of them's our dispatcher. One of them is our manager and CFO, who is actually about to become level 3 commission guard.
Wow.
And then we have one level 4 bodyguard female who actually transitioned about 6 months ago from a dental assistant to security.
Wow.
And has goals of becoming a marshal and all that. And after that, we have 24 total guards in the company. So that makes about 21 male guards in the company as of now.
Oh, pretty big.
Oh, wow. I had no idea it's that big.
Oh, yeah.
I
So
figured
it's
maybe 4 or 5 of you.
No, so I mean,
Wow.
I get a lot of guards that come in and they really want to work with me because I treat my guards like family. To me, my guards aren't a number. They're family. They become brothers. If they're struggling to provide diapers for their kids, I'm going to go buy them diapers and help them out as a company.
Wow, gotcha.
And as a friend. So to me, a lot of I look at it. You take care of your employees will take care of you.
Absolutely.
And I got guards that really appreciate that.
Sure.
So I got a lot of them that tell other security companies that they work for also, Rock Solid's priority. If I've got a shift at Rock Solid, that takes precedence over everything else.
Wow.
Nice. Yeah.
You probably have some cool stories from celebrities coming into town.
I got some interesting ones.
Yeah.
There's been some celebrities that come in town that, their managers are like, don't worry about him, he's fine. Everybody just loves him. Nobody's out to hurt him.
Yeah.
For instance, LTT. He came in town and we protected him. And he gets out of the car. We're waiting for some Whataburger, and he just walks out. Walks across the parking lot. We get ready to go out, and his manager's like, "Nah, he's good, man. Worst thing he's going to get is a woman trying to come up and hug and kiss him." And then we've had
Who is this again? LTT?
LTT. He is a Latin movie star and artist and singer.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know him either until before, but a lot of women around here in the Latin community, they know him.
I'm sure if we saw him, we'd probably be
Probably.
yeah.
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 TT.
Gotcha. But just the idea of bodyguards in El Paso. I mean, obviously there's a need for it, but is there without giving names? But there's a lot of steady clients you have here all the time.
Yeah,
El
so
Paso?
we have a good number of steady clients
Wow.
that on a weekly basis hire us.
Wow.
And a lot of them, what they get is they just want to go out and have a normal life.
Sure.
And it's somebody who's known in the public that they walk out and about and people are like, oh my God,
Yeah.
it's, I mean, without saying names,
Sure.
it's hard
Yeah.
to come up with a name.
Gotcha,
to think
gotcha. No,
about,
no,
but,
yeah.
You know, a big celebrity, you know, like say the news artist, the news anchor, they see them out in public. They'll
Yeah.
hire us to go out as a family just so somebody doesn't come up to them.
Gotcha.
Our guards will stand off to the side. Somebody goes to approach a table, then we'll step in and say, hey, you know, they're out as, you know, a family right now. They just want to have a peaceful, nice family dinner. They don't want to be bothered.
Do you think anybody hires you guys just out of pure ego?
Oh, 100%. We actually 100% out here. We've got a client, you know, I'll just call him Client A, who he comes in and he'll hire us, and it's after he's made a big payday, and he'll hire us and he tells me, I want as many guards as you can have. Send me everybody.
Wow.
And the first time we got it, we're like, man, who is this guy? What is he? And really, he's just a showboat.
Yeah.
He literally comes in and he's all his friends are like, yeah, he hires bodyguards all the time. He gets money and he blows it on bodyguards.
It blows it on
Wow.
you.
And he blows it on bodyguards. And he wants us, he tells us, I want you on my heels everywhere I go. If I go to the bathroom, I want you standing outside the stall. If I go, you know, to get a drink, you're behind me at the bar.
Wow.
Everywhere. And it's pretty interesting. So yeah, definitely
Not
a showboat.
necessary. Have you
Well,
ever had to
it's-
do any kind of?
It's necessary
Step up
because
for
it's
him?
kind of annoying to people.
Oh.
So they try to fight
Got
you.
you.
They want to beat him
And-
I have an idea. I know who that is.
Yeah, so there's a few of them in El Paso. I
Is
could
there?
probably see. Yeah.
Wow.
But with that sense, what we tell people is, I'm not here for that. I'm here for your safety. But if you're going out to, you know, go pick a fight with somebody,
Yeah.
I'm not here for that. That we're here on the legal side of the house. You want to go out and have a nice, peaceful time, a fun, safe time. That's what we're there for, is to stop people from bothering you. But if our clients go and, you know, they're starting, you know, the crap with somebody, sorry, buddy, you're on your own. Like, we're not here for that. We're not hired hitman,
We're
you
not
would say.
big brothers.
Exactly. You know, without using cuss words and things, it's kind of, you know, I'm not here to go do that to somebody. You
Gotcha,
know,
yeah.
kick somebody's butt. That's not who we're there for.
Yeah.
We're there for to protect you.
And do they think that they have that kind of mentality?
Some do.
A little bit more.
Oh,
more
100%.
aggressive, just because they know that you have their back.
Some of them, but when I get clients like that, it's very short time that we work with them.
Gotcha.
We'll work with them 1 or 2 nights, and you know, if it comes to a point, we'll just tell them like, hey, you know, as much as we're in the business for bodyguards, we're not in the business for your kind of service.
Wow.
Like,
And that's
you know,
putting your employees at risk, too.
oh, it's not
Absolutely.
only that; it's putting my company in liability at risk.
Sure.
I mean, we don't want that name. If you see us, we're there to keep everybody around safe, and just let them have a good time. Let them have a good, safe, peaceful dinner, peaceful time out, or a peaceful experience wherever they go. That way, nobody messes with them. Like, and
Wow.
that's what we're there for. We're not there to, you know, hitman going in there and hired to go kick somebody's butt. Like, that's not who we are. So.
And everybody thinks that you guys' rates are like super high, but the other day you were telling me your rates and it's like
You thought it was going to
super,
be a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, our rates are very reasonable, and you know, without really getting in the rates on air,
Yeah,
because
of course.
you know, there's a lot of competition in the area,
Sure.
things like that,
Right.
and I'm not here to undercut anybody, but you know, what other companies charge is what they charge when
Sure.
we charge what we do, but our rates are very reasonable to the contract and the risk. You know, if my risk is low, you know, I'm there to pay my guards, you know, pay my insurance, things like that, my overhead. Make a little bit, but I'm not to get rich on one customer.
Well, I would imagine it varies anyways because you have to match up your guard with them probably, right? Personality-wise, look-wise, like you said.
Yeah, 100%.
Like if you're pretending to be a family member of, you know, Hispanic, I mean,
Yeah,
where'd you come from? You know,
Yeah.
you got to match them up. I mean, yeah.
100%. Like
The
you say that,
son-in-law.
where you've got to match up to your clients. I had a client that I was with on a very regular basis. I mean, 4 or 5 nights a week, and numerous hours a week. That has actually changed to one of my other guards, who's a primo of mine, and that works for me. He's a Mexican. He's looks the part out here. He walks in. He's nice dressed. Nobody really looks at him at the bar. But when a big 240-pound white guy, bald, walks in a bar with a group of Mexicans
Yeah.
in a suit,
You stand
they're
out.
like, "Who's this guy?" You know, and
sure.
everybody
He's
sees
the
me.
He's the son-in-law.
Exactly. They're like, "Oh, who's this guy?" Then they're like, "Well, who's he with? Like, why is this guy here?" You know,
And the
so-
clan dictates to you as far as like your interaction with them. They tell
Yes.
you basically, and you.
So-
do you always stick by that, or is there some times where you have to say no, we have to?
No, so if a client wants us, like where interactions come from is, say that the client wants us hanging out with them, sitting at the table with them, have a drink in our hand. No, we're not drinking, but we'll drink like cranberry juice or soda water that has a straw. It looks like we're out drinking or out having a good time. Or and then we also have clients who are like, hey, look, I want you over to the left, 5 or 6 feet. Get anybody that comes in, but let us be us, and you just watch over us. Wow. So I mean, it all depends on the personality of the client and how much they want to get in. Now, over time, an executive protection officer that's steady with a client, they're going to become friends and family.
Sure.
You know, to a couple of my really regular clients out here in El Paso, they really are truly family to me now. Yeah. We go to family cookouts. We'll go swim at the pool. My kids will go meet them. You know, and some of these clients, they're multimillionaires. So my son walks in. He's like, Dad, I've only seen houses like this on Grand Theft Auto. Like this is, you know. So he gets kind of blown away, you know. And the staircase is about as big as my home, you know.
Yeah. So tell us, where are you from originally, man?
So originally I'm from, born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio, but I moved into northern Kentucky shortly after high school in my tours in Iraq.
Gotcha.
And lived in northern Kentucky for about 10 years now. And I actually just this past week put my house in Kentucky up for sale. And we're going to be looking for a permanent house here in El Paso. 4 to 5 bedrooms, you know, about 2,300 square feet. If anybody's got one for sale, let me know.
Hey,
Get a hold of Lauren's out.
Right?
Just
we
to
have sponsor some shows there, definitely.
Gotcha.
Very
So
good.
yeah, I mean,
So you're making El Paso home.
home. Yeah, El Paso's going to be home. My wife is originally from El Paso, born and raised.
Nice.
Her family's from Juarez, and you know, she's always said, you know, she loves white boys. And, you know, met me, and you know, we got married in 8 months, and went back to Kentucky because I was here about 3 years ago. Here for a year, deployed with the Army, right here to Fort Bliss.
Yes.
And met my wife literally like 2 months after I got here. We met at Mustang Sally's, where I was a
Mustang
production
Sally.
engineer for sound.
Oh, nice.
And we met there, and she tells her friend, she goes, "Man, who's the white boy? Who's the widow?"
Who's the big white boy?
Yeah, she goes, "Who's the widow over there?" Like, "Oh, that's our sound engineer." She goes, "He's going to be mine," you know. And
Whoa.
Needless to say, it happened, and we got married in October of 2018.
Nice.
Moved to El Paso back to Kentucky 2 days later, and 9 months from that, we had a son. 3 days later, we were told to come back to El Paso from the Army.
Wow.
And been here since. Little over a year now. We've been back, and El Paso is going to be home.
Awesome.
And you just got married in 2018?
2018,
Oh,
correct?
you're newlywed still, man.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Shout out to her, since she was going to be here originally, I believe, but her schedule didn't allow her to.
Yeah, she was going to be here, but and you know, she still has another job. She works for Enterprise Rental Car. And
okay.
So she goes into work at 7:15, and you know, so she had to go to work, and we just got back from 2 weeks of vacation and getting our house ready for sale.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Needless to say, she couldn't get another day.
Can we say hi to her, since she came in as a client, and that's how we hooked up
morning.
with you
Yeah.
guys?
Good morning, V&A.
Yes.
You know,
She told
love you, honey.
us. She told us that we ever need a rental, that she'll hook us up.
Nice. Rental and a bodyguard.
Going.
Sweet.
Yeah, rental bodyguards. And it actually goes really good having her work for Enterprise as a benefit for
Gotcha,
our company.
sure.
Since one of the services that we provide is executive protection. We're your drivers also.
Yeah.
So not only am I a bodyguard, but I'm your personal driver. You know, if you go to the hotel and you want to go get a pack of cigarettes at the 7-Eleven, we're going to drive you from the 7-Eleven or from the hotel to the 7-Eleven and back, and then anywhere else that you need to go.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
So, you know, we have a couple SUVs in the, you know, that belong to the company. But when you get, you know, 3 or 4 SUVs that are needed for one client or one group or multiple clients on a night, really works having her at Enterprise. Again, you know, we get a little bit of a, you know, company discount.
Sure,
So.
definitely.
Some nice black SUVs.
Yep.
Little.
The only problem with, you know, the Enterprise ones is they don't have the dark windows and things like that, or the security lights built in them. So that's why we do have some
Sure.
that I use for that aspect.
Wow, pretty cool. You got to share with us some crazy, at least a crazy story, man. Something.
I mean,
No names, of course.
yeah, no names. I mean, we've had, you know, incidences where crowds are trying to rush the gates and push and, you know, jump the stage for a young artist out there, you know, standing in front with a guitar. And literally, I've got 4 or 5 guards holding the metal gates from the crowd trying to rush over top and climb the gates.
Wow.
And, you know, in my mind, I'm like, well, I got pepper spray. I got a taser.
Ooh, wow.
You know, I'm like, but why do I want to pepper spray somebody? Because
Sure.
they're just trying to meet their, you know, their
Yeah.
artist.
Try to touch him.
Their celebrity. They're trying to get a touch, a hand, a kiss, something. And I'm like, man, I really hate to do it, but people got to listen. So them are the crazy stories is once they start, everybody starts.
Yeah.
So when you got, you know, 4 or 5 or 8 guards or something like that on 1,000 people, which is, well, you know, we need a lot more guards for that. But at the front, they're just trying to come in.
Sure.
So we've had, in an instance recently where they're trying to rush the stage, all because the guy jumped down and was walking in front with his guitar. And we were taking the cages and like slamming them back, trying to push these guys. Then a fight breaks out. Then a guy pulls a gun out from his pants and flags it in the air. And you ask how's he get it in there? Well, the way this event is it was visual checks, because there was no way legally to pull everybody out and pat them down and their vehicles and all that. So in this day and age, somebody's always going to try to sneak one in somehow, some way. He pulled it out, scared people. The band jumped off stage. When the band jumped off stage in the back, the manager's like, "Hey, we're done. For the safety of the band, we jumped off. Hey, do you want to leave? Do you want to this? Like, what's going on?" As we're talking, the LED screen up on the stage burst into flames.
Whoa!
So it was like, if you can say, crap hit the fan, and just all of a sudden everything hit the fan in this. And as soon as the LED stage lit on fire, that band's like, "Put me in the car, we're done, we're leaving." Yeah.
Wow.
And we literally went out the back way trying to get out so nobody would see us leaving, because nobody knew this band was that popular here. It was a young band, a very young band. And I looked at them, I was like, "Guys, I didn't know you were that popular." And the band's like, "I didn't either."
Like in a situation like that, when someone pulls out a gun, I mean, you have all right to go and can you, or do you have all right to go and grab that gun from them?
100%. When you pull a gun out and threatening, truthfully, my guards have 100% rights, legal liability to shoot and kill.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Like, not just detain. You pull it out in a threatening manner, that's deadly force towards us, and we have full right to shoot and kill.
Wow.
And what some people don't understand, and especially in nightlife with some of my guards, if you reach down and grab my officer's weapon, my officer's duty belt, anything to that aspect to try to take from them, that is deadly force, and we can shoot and kill. Wow. And that's something that we never want to do.
Sure. Yeah,
we just actually have purchased 9 tasers for some of our guards. That I purchased as with them as a company, kind of went in, tried to, really work with them, so that our liability, that if we have to pull something, we're pulling non-deadly, non-lethal force.
Of course.
Instead of our duty weapon. I tell my guards, if you're touching that pistol, people out there in El Paso, be aware that if my guard is grabbing his pistol, he is grabbing that to shoot and kill.
Wow.
And I don't want him grabbing it any other reason than that, because of the safety. So, don't push the guards to that aspect, guys. Respect them. They're there for your safety.
Sure.
Don't be stupid. It's some of our guards, we have the old saying is, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Yeah. And that stupid prize is a 45 slug in your chest.
Wow.
And it's law enforcement faces that every day right now. Is you do stupid things, and it's going to cause them to do stupid. It's exactly. All we want to do is law enforcement, security officers, things like that. We want everybody to be safe. We want to go home to our families.
Sure.
And we want everybody else to go home to the families. Yeah. But guess what? When you threaten us to take my son's father away, buddy, I bet damn well, I'm telling you, I'm well trained, well proficient. I'm going home to my son. You're not. I mean, so that's to answer that question. Yeah, once he goes to that level, it's full on, authority for that. Now there's also another thing. A guy pulled a gun and fired it at one of our sites out in public, and fired at the site, came down, aimed. My guards drew on him. He put the gun away. Like, as he seen, oh crap, I screwed up. As soon as he puts it away, that threat's not there anymore. We're not legal to shoot them anymore, and we don't. Oh. At that time, then we use, it has to be what they say is a snapshot. When we pull the trigger, take a picture of what's happening right here, right now. That's what you have to analyze in all situations. What did you think at that time that you pulled the trigger? Did you think he's coming deadly force to me? It doesn't matter if we find out later, oh, he didn't have a gun. It was a cell phone he was pulling out. He did have a gun on him. It was in the car, but he wasn't grabbing it.
Split second.
It's that split second camera shot, boom. What's going on at this very moment? That's what some people don't understand, everything going on in the world.
Wow.
Is it doesn't matter what you found out 6 months down the road, or 6 minutes, or 60 minutes, or whatever. It matters that 1 second that I pulled the trigger, what is going on at that moment? Is he giving me deadly force?
Wow.
And that's so yeah. I mean, it's a high liability, but at the end of the day, we train all my guards. We do monthly trainings twice a month. 1 month or one of our trainings is we go to the range and we shoot. We do scenarios from shooting one-handed. You know, say I'm in a firefight and I get hit. How do I continue to save my life? We do, you know, scenario left, boom, right, boom, you know, center, this, you know, shoot different scenarios. So that way we're very proficient. And even though my guards are qualified as level 3 armed commissioned officers, if I'm not comfortable with their shooting abilities, I don't allow them to carry a weapon on site until they get trained to that level.
Gotcha.
So when they're out there with a gun, guys, it's know that if he's wearing that rock solid badge, he's well trained, he or she. You know, Laura, shout out to you, girl. You're, you know, you're doing well in this business. So she'd get mad at me if, you know, I'm over here saying he. She's like, hey,
What about us?
There's females in this team, you know. So, but you know, my males and females, they're well trained in what they do. And within another week of the month, we do scenario training. So we'll go to a site of ours, or we'll go somewhere else, and we'll be like, hey, I need you to respond to, you know, Unit Echo 1 for a loud noise complaint. And my guards go there and respond to it. Or, hey, there's a fight in the back. Respond, de-escalate. You know, that's what our guards, we strive on, is the de-escalation of the situation instead of, oh, there's a fight, let me go knock a guy out. That's not who we are. That's not what we do.
Wow.
It's de-escalating, get the fight, you know, calm down, get them broke up, and send everybody on the way home. You know, at the end of the day, my guards, when we're out in nightlife, a lot of people are like, oh, you just want to shoot us, you just want to arrest us. No, I don't. All I want you to do is come, have a good time, and go home. That's what all my guards want, is everybody to go home safe.
Gotcha. Real quick scenario.
Yep.
If you're protecting your client, and like you say, a fight erupts, policemen, there's not a lot of policemen, they're getting a little taken over maybe, and your client is protected. Is your job just to protect your client, or do you have authority? Do you have authority to go and help the police officers there with you, or you just worry about your client?
So it depends on our contracts. If I'm with an executive protection a job or contract where, you know, say I'm hired for, you know, it's any high client, LTT, you know, Becky G, any of those, and I'm hired to that client. If something breaks off, as a private security guard and executive protection, my job and sole focus is that client and their safety. Okay. They're the ones paying me. The city's not paying me. Everybody else, that bar's not paying me. The restaurant, anything. My focus is that guard. Now, as a person, you know, if my client is safe, I'm going to help out the police officer 100%. Legally,
so it's like a personal choice, I guess.
It's a personal choice, but as a company, in sense, if something's going down that deep, I'm getting my client out of there. Yeah, we're leaving the area. We're not. Their safety is my focus. Yeah. Now, on the other hand, if I'm contracted at a site, you know, for instance,
concert or something,
the Pockets, the office bar next door, which they've actually been talking to us about coming on with them, or, you know, we're contracted at Seven Noches, we're contracted at Sancho's, any of those bars. So say I'm there and things go down, like we had a real bad incident at Sancho's where a client came, or not a client, a customer was there. They kind of, you know, were already talking it. They were there to screw somebody up, you know, in nice terms. Yeah. And well, I get there, and I've already had issues with this client before, with this customer. And I've actually banned him. And I told him, I was like, hey, I was calling PD. I was like, hey, look, you know, I need somebody here. I need some help. I've got a customer that keeps coming, and we've asked him not to come. He always starts troubles. Well, on the phone with police, he gets up, and their group goes, you know, over towards where they were going. And I was like, hey, he's on the move. I told my other guards, you know, look. And long story short in this one is a big fight broke out. You know, I threw the phone to my wife, who was on site with me. I says, get them here. Like, you know, I get police here, you know, PD, we need backup. Because this was a big fight. Wow. And so we get it broke up a little bit. Police roll up because, you know, they're like, well, is there any weapons involved? And she goes, yeah, all my guards have guns. Like 50 cops come rolling in because, you know, they finally heard guns after we're trying to call them. But as we're there, the fights break out again. And it gets really serious. So cops were in a fight with the customers, with the you know, the suspects. And we were helping the police out. So there's incidences where like we work right alongside with police when it happens, but it all depends on what we're there and who's hired us to protect. What are we protecting? Are we protecting an individual person? At that point, when you know crap like that goes down, we're getting our client. We're out the back door. We may go take a walk down the street, or we may go in and get in our SUV if we can get there safely, and we're going to go somewhere else. You know, at least for until the situation calms down.
Awesome.
So,
I'm sure your military background helps you immensely with all the protection, with training and all that.
yeah. So you know, my company, a lot of my guards are military. I hire well-trained people. So me personally, I've been in 17 years in the Army. I've got 3 years of retirement. And that's why I started this company.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
service.
Thank you guys. Thank you. So, you know, I just recently got promoted to E7, Sergeant First Class in the Army, and you know, that was an achievement of mine. I look at that's probably gonna be my retirement rank.
Wow.
But you know, in retiring, I'm like, what am I going to do after life?
Yeah.
And in El Paso, you know, I've been here almost 3 years. My wife's from here. I know a lot of people, and I know it's hard to really make decent money unless you are the man. So you got to invest to be the man.
Sure.
So, you know, me and my wife, we made the choice of, hey, we're going to make this home. We need to invest in our future. So that's why we started the company. My experience in the military, I've done everything from mechanic, fuel handler, to executive protection in the military. Like I've done like quick reaction force, which is like SWAT team kind of for the military.
Gotcha.
You drive around, you look at things, and you react to what happens.
Okay.
I've also done PSD work, which is where you get a general, you get somebody like that comes in town that needs to go out into public, and you're their security detail. You're going out now. So I've done things like that over in Iraq. And that's where, you know, a lot of that background comes in play for this industry.
Gotcha.
But there's a big difference. In military, we're that side of we're unapproachable. Don't approach me. I'm here to do something. Stay away. In private security, you need to be more approachable and family friendly. So like a lot of my guards are like, man, let me wear this outer vest. You know, let me do this. I was like, no.
Yeah.
I want to be approachable to people. I want a customer, if they're feeling that, you know, they have an issue, to feel safe to come up and talk to me. If I'm standing there with a rifle on my chest, a big outer plate, you know, 5 magazines, they're like,
little intimidating.
I don't want to go in this place. Like, what is this guy? But if I'm standing out there in a nice clean polo shirt,
hanging out
with an undervest that's not really visible, yeah, I have a duty belt on, but everybody knows, okay, that's protection. They're used to it because that's what police look like. So that's why we look exactly like police. We actually look like TABC. So a lot of sites I go at, some of the clients will be like, hey, TABC's here. No, guys, that's our security. We're good. You know, because we're in coyote brown tan pants with a black polo shirt, and that's exactly what TABC wears. But not to say I'm intimidating or impersonating police, but when a drunk or somebody of that aspect sees that uniform, they automatically assume we're law enforcement, or, you know, we have that full authority, which we do have arrest authority. And we can give, you know, we turn people into police for felonies in our presence, you know, breach of public peace, and there's one other that we can arrest for. But when they assume that we're authority, they give us a little bit more respect than if you look like what some people say, quote unquote, I hate the phrase, but a rent-a-cop.
Yeah.
You know, and it's that's exactly what we kind of are. Is we're hired security. But my team, we've got a little bit more leeway in what we can do, because I'm there for the safety of the clients of mine. So, you know, some of the big name companies, they don't even allow people to chase after somebody that you know, stole from them. Like, oh no, just write down what they look like and turn it into the police.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm contracted legally, I'm allowed. If I'm contracted by a full site, I'm allowed to go anywhere on their site. Now, as soon as you go off property, we can't touch you. But if you're on site, heck yeah, go get that guy. Like,
game on.
100% game on. So,
Real quick question for you, man. The legality portion of it. If you're protecting somebody, and unfortunately, somebody attacks, you got to shoot and you got to kill somebody. But where does whose responsibility does it fall on? Does it fall on your client's responsibility, or is it?
So it actually falls on ours, without really going into too much detail about our insurance. But we are covered with a liability insurance. The reason I don't really go into it is because I really don't want everybody to know what's possible to get if something happens. Because I don't ever want that to happen. But we are covered in liability insurance.
Of course.
it falls on us. If my guard does the action, it falls on us. That's one of the securities that we give a client. You know, an example too, if we're outside of a restaurant, outside of a bar, and my guards do something, that liability is on us. That's not on the bar itself. So that's, you know, real good for you bar owners out there, guys, is we take the liability of what we do off of your hands. You know, because a bouncer, what most people don't know is a bouncer is illegal. So somebody that's just standing there in a t-shirt, he's not security qualified, not working for a security company. If he touches you, throws you out of the bar, you've got grounds to sue that bar, that individual, and everybody, because he's not legally covered in what he does and trained and background checked. As a security officer, we're bound by DPS, Department of Public Safety, as security officers. We have badges that I actually don't have my wallet on me with it, but we have you know, DPS guard cards is what they call them. That is a legal bounding certification, just like a certified plumber has to go to a license. It's the same with security. We do background checks with the FBI, fingerprint backgrounds, very thorough. They do full background checks. We do background checks at the company level. We do drug testing. And those background checks are looking for felonies, assaults, drug charges, things that would be who I don't want standing out in public with a gun.
Yeah.
Red flags.
Yes, the red flags. And they don't give them licenses. So that's what bounds us legality of it, is we're backed by the state of Texas and their law for being able to put our hands on people and do things.
okay.
But it falls on our liability insurance.
huge.
So somebody, they can't turn around, if they wanted to sue somebody, they couldn't sue the client, it would be you guys, they would come try and go after.
Yeah, so they're going to come directly
Yeah,
after
gotcha,
Rockstar
wow.
Protection. But what we have is we have SOPs in place.
Sure.
That have been read through, approved by my lawyer.
Gotcha.
They've 100%, like all my policies and procedures are in place. Now, that's not to say that I may have a guard that doesn't follow policy and procedure.
Sure.
And to my guards out there, I've told them, and, you know, I'll tell everybody in public, you don't follow what we've stated, legality that we can do, you're going to fry. You know, there's nothing that, you know, I'm not going to hold back. If you're in the wrong, you know, you're going to go to the full extent of the law, and it's on you.
Wow.
Not me, because in our industry, I can't control 100% what every one of my guards do.
Got you.
Now, we have supervisors that do rounds around all of our sites when they're operating. You know, that's on our payroll. But we go through and we check our guards. But I'm not with them 24/7. So how can I always state that you're going to make the right choice? It has to be conscious on them. But that's how I always train.
Yeah.
I keep my guys very well proficient. And that's why I spend the money on training.
Yeah.
So that I know my guards are always going to do the right thing.
Yeah, yeah. So it ultimately is your responsibility, but
Yeah.
a lot of it goes on the training. And like I said, you're not responsible for them 100%. You're not with them all the time.
Yeah,
But
so
a lot of it has to do with the training and make sure they're properly trained. And
Yeah, so I am responsible for them 100% of the
Yeah.
time. But if they go out of our procedures and policies, then that's on
that's
them.
them.
Wow.
You know, it's just like, say a guard clocks out and tries to do side work, where it's very illegal. And like, so if a guard of mine, he has like the Texas law for security states, not only are you a security guard, but you have to be working under a licensed security company.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so just any guard can't go out and, you know, hire your client. Like, so my guards are out with clients. He can be like, hey, man, come work for me this Sunday and, you know, I'll pay you directly. Well, he's not covered by any of the laws, not covered by the liability insurance, and it's illegal. So, you know, one, I can go back at him, sue him for the services. And then not only that, if something happens, it's falling right on him and his client.
Gotcha.
So it benefits the client and everybody to go through the company itself.
Wow.
Because that's what backs it by the law. So.
Wow. So, hey, what other business ventures have you gone into? We talked a little bit before about some of the stuff you've done or going to do.
Yep, done, gonna do, still kind of doing, I guess you'd say. So back in Kentucky, I was actually very well known as DJ Smitty. And been doing it since about 2010, somewhere around that time, I think.
That's a big switch from.
Oh, it's a huge switch. But it's also, being a DJ is very hard to support a full family. You know, you need a little bit more quantity than just one guy DJing and maybe being a sound man with one PA system.
Yeah.
And especially nowadays with COVID, it would have really shut me down. But so I've owned a DJ sound production business called Smitty Productions.
Okay.
And it's been anything from a DJ to live sound engineer. I did live recording for one time for bands as they played, and I'd have CDs. I did karaoke, you know, and I actually at one point I had CDs. When you did karaoke, I would record you and you know, you could buy your
nice.
your singing for karaoke.
There you go.
So it's, you know, I've gone all different avenues to try to make it a little bit more profitable.
And take a picture of the bodyguard.
Yeah, like, hey, you know. But so I did that for almost 10 years now, and out in El Paso, I started 3 years ago at Mustang Sally's. I was their sound engineer.
Mustang Sally's.
I did karaoke with Rico. He hired me. Appreciate it, Rico. Man, you really introduced me to a lot of people in this industry in El Paso. But I worked for him and did it real well, but I come to find out real quick, I'm a little white and I don't understand, you know, Espanol as much. You know, I speak poquito Espanol. So,
There you go.
and when you come up and request a song, you know, a banda or Tejana or, you know, I can't even spell it. So, like, just trying to search it in my database, I'm like, what did you say? Like, you know, can you...
Let me Google it.
Exactly. So, I realized it wasn't my forte, and plus profitability. When you go out and DJ, depending on how much you're charging, that's your one rate for one night, and you can only get that 7 times a week.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless you're working, like, you know, 12 hours a day, 2 different sites. It's a real struggle hustle to be very profitable in a DJ world.
And then here in El Paso, man, there are DJs are a dime a dozen.
Oh, they're all over the place.
There's a dude that like fixes TVs. I don't know, sells
Landscaping.
wood. Yeah, landscaping and DJs. You know,
Yep.
it's all on the same sign, man. So.
So in El Paso, that business really for me, I do more live sound. So I do sound engineering.
Gotcha.
But I've come to find out since, you know, doing that in El Paso and opening this Rock Solid Protection, that I had bands calling me. You know, King Octopus called me, Double Barrel bands called me, Steel Queen band. You know, great bands. But that takes my whole evening. And right now, the security company is really based in nightlife.
Yeah.
We're looking to branch out. So, you know, business owners out there, if you've got a business that you need full-time guards, we've got people available, and we'd be glad to, you know, have a conversation with you and work something out where we can definitely help you. But right now we're in nightlife.
Yeah.
So running a band out at you know, a club or something like that, I'm completely taken away from my company.
Yeah.
Sure.
And as the owner and CEO, like, you know, I'm a working owner. I don't manage from behind a desk. I'm actually out in uniform. People know me. They know my face. And it's just the timing and then the money that I make on running a band. It's not really worth it. So honestly, the equipment's sat in my trailer now for roughly right about 9-10 months, because I was working with King Octopus for a couple of times out here this year since being back. An amazing band, and like their Ozzy Osbourne songs sound like Ozzy Osbourne.
Nice.
They're an amazing band. I hate to not really work with them, but the profitability, I've got to, you know, look at one or the other.
Sure.
And yeah, I do this one for fun now, the sound business. I also, you know, can rent out my PA to people that need to use it.
But we can still promote you that way then.
Yeah, so
Definitely.
100%.
Okay, gotcha.
So, I mean, it's definitely something that's still there. It's just not really active that much.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So,
Wow.
Gotcha.
but that's the other, you know, company I've owned. I've also been, you know, an automation engineer doing robotics and electrical. But
Nice.
so I'm trick of all trades, a master of a few.
Handyman, mechanic too.
Yeah, mechanic. Yeah, I've been a mechanic in the Army for 17 years, diesel mechanic.
Wow.
Nice.
You know, so I do work with Horizon Auto Body a little bit, you know, helping them out.
Nice.
And just, you know, different things, a handyman and a bunch of different trades. But really, I've kind of found a passion in keeping people safe.
There you go.
You know,
awesome,
they always say you don't feel like, if you enjoy your work, you don't ever feel like you're going to work. Right?
Yeah, it seems like that's your forte.
And-
Yeah.
I'll get called at 3:30 in the morning when I'm sleeping, and a client's like, "Hey man, I need you." I get up, put my suit on, and go out. And the wife's like, "Where are you going?" "Got to go to work." You know, it's like, I got to go out and pick them up. Got to go do this, and you know,
Who could someone possibly need some help with at 3:30 in the morning?
wild after parties. It is El Paso. I mean,
42, man. They're not
It's-
35 anymore, man.
oh man, more like 21 and 19. You know, man, them guys can party nowadays.
Oh, wow.
But
Oh,
so, I
yeah.
mean, that's you get called like that. But one thing we're not, though, that I've had some clients try to treat us as is we're not an Uber service. You know, they call me out at my rates to just go pick them up and drive them home, and I'm like, wait a minute, guys, like, you know, that's not beneficial to us. So you know, we do have a little bit of minimals in our service fees that we do. Is, you know, if my guards are going out, my guards availability is 1. I only got 24 to work for me, so my availability is limited. So I try to tell people, book us more than, you know, an hour
1
before
hour.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, I've got a couple clients that are steady. They do that on a very regular basis. So I have a guard that is strictly for that client. doesn't work any other site. He's on call for whenever this client calls. And he calls and says, hey, meet me here. Okay, gets in his car, drives there. Or, depending on what the situation, we may have somebody drop him off. If he's going to drive their car, or if we're going to pick him up, it all depends. So,
Got you.
Wow.
Awesome, man. Well, it's cool to see someone as passionate and loving what they do as you, man. I wish everyone was like that.
Unfortunately, it's not anymore. Like, I look at some people when they're at a restaurant and you're a server, and you look like it's a problem that I asked you for some ketchup. I want to look at them and say, look, man, if you don't like your job, I didn't tell you to work here. But if you don't like it, quit. Go somewhere else.
I think we've been to the same place, man.
I'm telling you, it's horrible.
So let me ask you this: being from Kentucky originally, wait, originally? No, you're from
Ohio.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Did you experience a little bit of culture shock coming out to El Paso? I mean, what drew you besides the wife, obviously?
Yep.
But just the El Paso area, what do you like about El Paso?
So when I first came here in 2017, October 2017, truthfully, I did feel a culture shock. I was uneducated, unknowledged on the Mexican culture. Truthfully, I heard what was told around in public or social media. I get out here, man, I'm expecting cholos, I'm expecting gunfire. Like, I didn't know what street to go down. I went to the gym, and I went back. And then I started venturing out a little bit. And I come to find the truth, El Paso and the Mexican culture, I love them more than I love white people.
Yeah.
They truthfully, one of the nicest
Very respectable,
ethnic groups of human beings that I've ever met. Like, for example, my SUV, I had a battery issue, and I broke down on East Lake and Joe Battle, or East Lake and Gateway, yesterday. And I had a gentleman pull up, roll down his window, hey man, are you good? I was like, well, honestly, I need a jump. Like, my battery's, is messed up. And pulled over, opened his hood right there on this highway, gave me a jump.
Nice.
And I'm like, dude, I said, this is what I love about this community and these people, is in Kentucky, they'd have honked at you and flicked you off for blocking their way and drove on. And that's a lot of different parts of this world.
better car.
Exactly, And so, I mean, you still get some of that here. I was helping Horizon Auto Body move their location yesterday, and one of our trucks had something come loose, so we pulled off the side of the highway. And we're adjusting straps, and you had a guy honk and, flick us off there. I'm like, guys, come on. Everybody's, been in that situation, been in life.
Maybe they were from Kentucky.
They might have been. There are a lot of Army people here. Traitor. So, but for culture shock, when I first came here, I had a lot of culture shock. But then my strongman team, I do heavy powerlifting and strongman competitions.
Wow.
They really opened me up to the Mexican culture. And, with being with them, great, nice people, I started venturing out. Come to find out, I love El Paso. But then when I came back, honestly, and El Paso wasn't my proudest moment with you guys, but I came back in August this year, or of last year. What happened in August last year? Unfortunately, the Walmart shooting happened from a white male in his 30s and walking in there. I've never felt racial profiling until I came back into El Paso in August and September of last year.
Wow.
And
Just gave you a different look.
100%. If I was a lot, sexier, I think they were trying to undress me with their eyes as well, as hard as people looked at me.
Yeah.
The Broslin guards standing out front, I come walking up and they're like,
wow.
stiff eyeing me. And I'm like, yeah, I got a gun, it's right here, but it's for my safety, not to kill you. So a little bit of racial profiling for a few months. It happens going into Walmart a lot by their guards, still to this day.
Wow.
So if you work for Broslin guys, kind of think about what you guys do. So it's not that, you're not really putting off that great image, and I'm not the only one that's felt that. But that's the only thing that I've ever really felt is ever since the shooting, a little bit of racial profiling.
Wow.
So
I can see that.
I mean, and I understand why, but we got to realize that it's not every Mexican that's a cholo or a gangbanger or a narco. It's not every white man that's racist and KKK handler. It's not not everyone. Not every cop is a bad cop. Are there bad ones in every bit? Yes, but so I think the whole world needs to kind of realize that it's not every apple on a tree is bad.
Right.
There's just a couple that don't right.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad you're in El Paso, man.
Yeah.
Me too, and I love it here.
Is that how you met your wife when you're back here? You met her
Yes,
here?
I met her working at Mustang Sally's.
At Mustangs. Oh, that's right, you did.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Very cool.
Cool, man. Well, it was
Enjoyed it, learned a lot.
man. Cool stories and good to hear about. Nobody really talks about bodyguard work.
Yeah, executive protection.
It's the first conversation I've had
The ins and outs. Yeah.
with a bodyguard. So.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of ins and outs to it. But it's really it's a good industry, and it's really, you know, there's a lot of high paying jobs. A lot of police officers retire and go private sector. It all depends on the right contract. Now, and I tell people in my company, for most guards, I'm a stepping stone. I'm the beginning of their contract or the beginning of their career to move up. Now, I'm also could be the end of some's career because we have that executive sector. You know, like there's one client that I have here in El Paso that is a retirement job for 1 to 4 of my guards, depending on how many of their, you know, family that we have actually go out active and use on a regular basis. Right now, it's only one of them, but there's that, you know, liability or the availability of 4 guards having a full-time job making very good money.
Wow.
You know, and when you look at a yearly sector of what the guard could be making is well over 6 figures. Depending on that.
Depending on the
Depending
client,
on the client and the availability that they need you.
Wow.
So if a client needs you available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I mean, that costs money to have that availability.
Is that like a live-in type of position, something like that?
It's a live-in or live-near kind of situation. And, I mean, you go everywhere from Cabo to Cancun to Dallas. Like, you go everywhere with them. Now, there's some legalities when you go other places and license issues. But it's sometimes you go with them, you may not be armed, and you hire another guy that's armed in that area. Because a bodyguard, I'm only licensed in the state.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
So that's one hiccup with our company and the industry as a whole is, say I have a client here in Texas that's traveling to California. I can protect them all the way until they get on a plane. Then when they land, I have to have somebody else. Or if we're driving, you know, I can protect them. I can have my gun as, you know, a concealed carry holder as my personal protection. But that's a very illegal way to do it.
So you need to subcontract another.
You need to subcontract at every state line to have a bodyguard come with you from line to line. I mean, we even do escorts like diamonds. You know, we've had clients come into El Paso with $10 million worth of diamonds. Wow. And we've escorted them, drove them all the way to Dallas, to the jewelry store, overnight, and then drive them back with $10 million in cash. Like, those are some interesting, very fun, you know.
Money talks.
Money talks. I mean, there's clients that can, you know, where they have money that comes in their business on a regular basis. And then they have to do money drops at different banks because they collect money for banks.
Wow.
And we do escorts with them. You know, we'll pull up, we'll grab them, we'll take them to their banks. Now, there's strategically procedures that we use to make that unpredictable when we do it, how we do it. We'll change vehicles. We'll do all different things. So that's a little bit of our industry, what we do. And, you know, I don't really talk too much about it because too many people can you know, they get in and they learn our secrets. But there's things in this industry that really, that you do to keep people unpredictable, you know, of what you're doing, where you're going to be, and how you operate. So even sometimes, you know, some companies go as far as any picture they post of their guards, they blur their face out.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at it, you know, not that it's not that serious, but I mean, you can Google the big white guy in El Paso and you're going to find me.
Smitty.
You know, there's some people call me Big Country Smitty, which, you know, I'm hard to, you know, not notice. But I have officers that work for me that use different names because of other stuff that they do.
Gotcha.
You know, we are a subcontract company for big clients that go overseas, go to hurricane relief. We actually have 5 guards right now in Louisiana and Texas supporting the hurricane relief.
Oh, nice.
We call them deployments, just like the military. I'll, you know, call up the guards. Hey guys, we got a deployment. We got the need in you know, Louisiana. Who can go and you know, they're like, well, how long? We don't know.
Wow.
You know, they're down there right now. One of my officers have been down there since the day after the hurricane, and I just sent, and another one went like 2 weeks behind. I just sent 2 more 2 days ago, just left to go over there and help out.
Wow.
But and it's good money too. So I mean, in those industries, and those contracts are very well paying because of the need of it.
Yeah. Wow.
So, just like, you know, an electrician. I'm sure El Paso Electric has electricians down in Louisiana right now, and those are kind of what my guards are protecting. They, you know, they watch over the electricians' equipment. They watch over storefronts that are busted open.
Wow.
Walmarts, Targets, gas stations, pilots. You get people out there that they get desperate. And you go out there and protect and make sure that things stay civil.
Wow.
That's what I think of. So.
No, I didn't even think about that aspect of it. But
Yeah, I mean, we even get presidential candidates that come in town or politicians that we guard and protect. We've had, clients where we're sitting outside their house 24/7. Everywhere they go, we're with them because they're running for office. And they have people in this world that don't like them just because you're running for office.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we're really there for. So, any of those cases, we've had clients that they're business owners and they are having an issue with a business next door that's now turning into, aggression, threats, harassment, stalking.
Wow.
And we've been with them 24/7 in the middle of this investigation while police do their work for the safety. We work right alongside with the detectives. We tell them what we see. And, it's one of those things of don't do what you shouldn't do. You know what I mean? Like, don't be illegal, don't be stalking, don't be threatening, don't physical harm to the businesses, things like that. That's what we're there to protect. So we've done daycares, everything like that for this. So.
What's the weirdest request you've ever gotten? As far as like dressing up, disguises, or
The
anything?
weirdest request? Let's see. Let's see.
can you come as a big, tall, white, bald man?
Got you on that one, man. That's probably the weirdest in El Paso. But, I mean,
Nothing too weird?
nothing yet that I would say out of character. I mean, the only one that kind of caught me off guard at first was when I had a client stop using me personally because I draw too much attention to him.
Oh.
But then I look back and I understand. Okay, I get it. I'm a big bald white guy. In El Paso, I stand out. Yeah. So and I can see that. But that's probably the weirdest thing so far. But it's also I've been open since March of this year.
Oh, okay.
And what happened in March of this year?
Sure.
COVID-19.
Shut down.
And so
but
I've been successful. I've been profitable.
Good.
But I have a 2020 goal of surviving. And so the weird, crazy requests haven't really come in because it's been COVID. And every business owner out there, you guys too, we want to survive. We want to keep our business to 2021 and at the end of this election when COVID goes away.
I got you.
My last question is, what's the youngest client that you've been hired to protect?
14 years old.
14?
14-year-old female.
Gotcha.
So we've had, that's the highest that I personally, but our company, Rock Solid, has been hired for. We've had some older clients as old as, bedridden.
Wow.
We've had...
bedridden, you
bedridden.
said? Really?
So, they're sick, they're this, but they get family members that, have made threats.
Yeah.
Sure.
And we're there for that. We do work in Midland, we travel. The Midland one was one of our clients for the bedridden. That's where our oldest client was that we were at. A son-in-law had actually threatened to kill the parents because of things with the wife. And then we were there for 2 weeks, 24/7 guards.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden, the wife and the son-in-law got back together, and he said, "I'm not going to kill your parents no more."
Hey,
That's probably one of the weirdest that I had. They hire me to protect them for 2 weeks, thinking that they're going to die, and then all of a sudden, the wife and husband get back together after you threaten.
so you also bring relationships back together.
There you go.
Counseling service. Good for you guys.
Don't be trying to get me in that world. That's what bartenders are for.
That's a whole other ballgame.
Oh yeah.
Man.
But we do that because when we have clients with their husbands and wives, and
Sure.
they get in arguments. We're like, "Hey, look, man, calm down. You're acting like an idiot right now." They don't always want to hear it, but sometimes things like that happen. So.
Yeah, you got to give in your little 2 cents.
Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent.
Cool. Well,
Smitty, thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, thanks
it's
for
been fun.
No problem. Thank you guys, man. I appreciate this. You guys have been great for my company. We've used you guys here at Sign Bros. Or Sign Bros.
There you go.
Sign Bros. Don't want to say the pro. But here at Sign Bros, we've used you guys. Great work.
Thank you.
You guys have done logos on our vehicles for us, and
Nice.
they work out great. So you guys are great here for us. The opportunity for this podcast, is this something that you guys do that I think is, your passion at the same time too. Doesn't bring a whole lot of money in your guys' business that I know of, and outside of maybe advertising, because you guys aren't charging me a dime, and we really appreciate that. something cool that, heck, I might, come in here and join you guys sometime and,
Definitely.
Awesome.
drill a new client or a new person. Like, hey, man, what do you got going on? So,
No, we definitely want to help promote local businesses, and like I said, and your story fascinates me because, like I said, you're from Kentucky and Ohio, but here you are in El Paso, choosing El Paso as a home. That's pretty good.
I'm retiring early.
And choosing El Paso woman as a wife, a brave guy. Yeah.
But very brave, very brave. I'm learning that. I didn't know it at first,
Last question for me. Have you eaten menudo?
Oh,
Believe it
tried
or
menudo?
not, I don't like it.
Oh, okay.
No,
But you tasted it.
I tasted it. I love it. I love barbacoa. I love like the crunchy taco meat. What is that?
Carnitas.
Carnitas. Yeah, I love that. I love Mexican food to it.
Yeah.
But menudo, the smell.
not yet.
Oh, not yet. Yeah, give me time. I'll probably.
You haven't been drunk enough yet. You haven't been hungover enough
I
yet.
don't know about drunk enough. I've been.
hungover enough.
But yeah, so
Thanks for joining us, man.
thank you guys.
We're going to put
Appreciate
all your
you.
information, your website. We'll make sure we get that information so people can see it on screen. And contact Smitty here if you guys need his services.
Yeah, give me a call, guys. The number, you'll see it on the screen here. Give me a call. Let me know what you guys need. Some people ask, what kind of notice do you need? You can call me up and say, hey, I need you now. If I have the guards available, we can by all means work with you on that. It's more beneficial on your side to give us a little bit of a notice and, tell us you need a guard, you need a bodyguard, or, businesses. If you need uniformed guards, watching over construction sites, watching over anything, give us a call, guys. We're the newest, but one of the baddest security companies in El Paso, guys. So.
Give it up for Rock Solid Protection,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Smitty. Thank you for being on the show. We are the SignBroCast. We're all up in your business. Thank you to our sponsors, and we're signing off.
Have a good day.
See you guys.
Time Rose is the place where we make a sign.